Good morning, children. Welcome back to English online class or Sri Gokulam Public School, Guruvayu. How are you doing, children? Hope you all are safe and doing good. Yes? Okay. Shall we start our today's session? Yes. Yeah, we were discussing the first lesson of our grammar text, the sentence. I hope you remember what is a sentence and the story of sentence, brothers. Yes? Yeah. Still, we'll have a recap of what we have studied in our previous class. So, what do you mean by a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. It is a set of words that gives complete meaning or it conveys an idea or a thought. And there are four kinds of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. I hope you remember what are these kinds of sentences. For example, this is a book. Here I am telling you something. I am making a statement that this is a book. So the sentence that makes a statement or tells you something or declares a fact is called declarative sentence. The next one, interrogative sentence. Did you read this book? Here I am asking you a question. So a sentence that makes a question or asks a question is called interrogative sentence. Keep the book on the table. Here I am commanding you. The sentence that makes a command, an order, or a request or a suggestion is called imperative sentence. And the last one, exclamatory sentence. What a witty book it is. Here I am praising this book. Why? Because I love the witty dialogues said by Birbal. I hope you understood the kinds of sentences and the examples. So today let's move to another topic, subject and predicate. Every complete sentence has two parts, a subject and a predicate. What do you mean by complete sentence? If I say Shreyas is his, is it a complete sentence or does it make any sense? Did you get any meaning out of it? Shreyas is his? No, because it's not a complete sentence and it does not convey an idea or a thought. It's just simply a group of words. Only if those group of words are properly arranged and it conveys an idea or a thought, it makes a complete sentence. Otherwise, it is just a group of words or it is called a phrase. It's not a complete sentence. So, only a complete sentence will have two parts and they are the subject and predicate. I know these two terms are new for you, so listen carefully. So, what do you mean by a subject? When we make a sentence or when we form a sentence, we name a person or a thing. Then we tell about that person or thing, right? So, the part that names a person or thing is called the subject. The part that tells about that subject is called the predicate. Let me make it clear for you. What is a subject? Subject is also called the naming part. It is the part that names a person or thing. It tells us what or who the sentence is about. So the subject tells us what the sentence is about. So the subject can be a noun or a pronoun or a group of words with a noun. I hope you understood what is a subject. Now let's move to the predicate. Predicate contains a verb. It contains a verb. And predicate tells us what the subject is or what the subject is doing. It tells us more about the subject. For example, Shreyas is playing with his sister. Here, what is the sentence about? The sentence is about Shreyas. So, Shreyas is the subject. Only Shreyas is the subject. The Shreyas is the naming part of that sentence. Now, which is the predicate in that sentence? Shreyas is playing with his sister. So, is playing with his sister is the predicate. So, the predicate starts from the verb till the end of the sentence. Is playing with his sister is the predicate in that sentence. So, I hope you understood what is the subject and the predicate. Subject is a naming part and predicate is a telling part. Subject can be a noun or a pronoun and predicate can be any group of words and it contains a verb. Predicate can be a group of words and it contains a verb. It tells us about the subject. It gives us more information about the subject. I'll give you some more examples so it will be very clear to you. For example, Vaiga plays the piano well. Here, which is the subject? What is the sentence about? The sentence is about Vaiga. So only Vaiga is the subject, right? Then from verb onwards starts the predicate. Which is the verb here? Plays. Verb means action word. So which is the action word in this sentence? Plays. So Vaiga plays the piano well. So from plays onwards starts our predicate. Plays the piano well. Till the word well, it is the predicate. The predicate, it tells us what Vaiga is doing. What is her action? It tells us what Vaiga is doing. And the part that tells us about the subject is called the predicate. Now I'll explain the easiest way to identify a subject and a predicate in a sentence. How will you identify which is the subject and predicate in the sentence? First, look at the verb in a sentence. I'll give you another example. My mother cooks delicious food. So here, which is the subject? What is the sentence talking about? Or who is the sentence talking about? It is my mother. So only my mother is the subject. Now, which is the predicate in the sentence? Cooks delicious food. From verb onwards starts our predicate. Now, which is the verb in the sentence? Cooks. So, when you ask the question who or what to the verb, you get the answer for the subject. For example, who cooks delicious food? My mother. See, when you ask the question word who to the verb, who cooks delicious food? My mother. So, my mother is a subject. When you ask the question who to the verb, you get the answer subject. Who or what. If it is person, you ask who. If it is a thing, you ask what. For example, the flower pot is on the table. What is on the table? The flower pot. So, when you ask the question who or what to the verb, you get the answer subject. Like that, you can identify the subject in the sentence. And the rest part of the sentence is the predicate. Okay, children, did you understand? Usually, subject comes in the beginning of the sentence, but it's not the same in all the sentences. Sometimes the subject can come at any part in the sentence. It doesn't always comes in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, children, I hope you understood how to identify a subject and a predicate in a sentence. Now, children, let's discuss the exercises given in your grammar text. I hope you have completed the exercise 1 and 2. So let's discuss exercise 3. Look at the first sentence. In exercise 3 also they have given some jumbled words. You have to properly arrange the words and make it a complete sentence. Look at the first one. Green, red, are, blue and colors primary. How will you make it a complete sentence? Red, comma, green, comma and blue are primary colors. That's how you make it a complete sentence. Now here, which is the subject in that sentence? Just look at the sentence once more. Red, green and blue are primary colors. So you can ask, what are primary colors? When you ask the question, what to the verb are, you get the answer. What are primary colors? Red, green and blue. So red, green and blue are the subject. Red, green and blue is a subject. Are primary colors is the predicate in that sentence. Look at the next one. We get. Look at the next sentence. Primary, mixing, colors, the, on, we, different colors, get. So how will you arrange it properly? We get different colors on mixing primary colors. So which is the subject in the sentence? It is we. We is the only subject in that sentence. From get onwards starts the predicate. Get, different colors or mixing primary colors is the predicate. Okay children, shall we move to the next exercise, exercise 4? Change the given statements into questions. Start the questions with did. The first one has been done as an example for you. The young prince felt tired. They have given a statement, a sentence. We have to frame a question. We have to make a question for that. So they have did the first one. So you have to start with the word did. So when you start a question with did, the verb will be in the basic form. You have to use only the basic form of the verb. Basic form means the base form of the verb. The base form of the verb. For example, you cannot use visited. You cannot use visited. You cannot use ed with visit. You have to just use visit. Okay. For example, drank. You cannot use drank because the basic verb form is drink. Then dance, danced. You cannot use danced. You cannot add ed. You can only use dance. And the example, begin, began. You cannot use began. You can only use begin because begin is the basic or base form of the verb. Another example, play, played. Which is the base form of the verb? You cannot use ed. Solely play is the base form, play. Work, worked. Which is the base form? Work, W-O-R-K. Only work is the base form of the work. You cannot add ed, okay? Ed or any other letters. Only the base form of the verb you have to use with did. When you start a question with did, with the word did, you can use only the base form of the verb after did. Okay. So how will you frame the questions with did? How will you start a question with did? You start with the word did, then you can use the subject. Subject means a noun or a pronoun. A noun is a naming word and a pronoun is a word that is used instead of noun. For example, he, she, it, they, all are pronouns. Then you use the base form of the verb. Okay? Then the rest of the sentence and you put a question mark at the end of the question. So shall we do the next one? They made their own hut. How will you frame the question for that? Did. Then you use the subject they. Then made should be changed into make. Make is the base form of the verb. Did they make their own hut? Question mark. Now third one. Jack shrugged his shoulders. So how will you frame the question? How will you make the question? Start with did. Did. Then you use the subject. Did Jack shrug? Shrug his shoulders? Question mark. So you don't have to use ed after shrugged. Okay. Shrug is a base form of the verb. So I hope you understood how to frame the questions with did. So complete the rest of the sentences. I hope you understood what is the subject and the predicate and how to frame a question or make a question with did. So I hope you all will complete the exercises. So let's wind up the session here. See you in the next class.